Today's question comes from Chris in Maryland. I use credit cards for their rewards. I look at getting them, I look at it like getting revenge on the credit card companies for all the money that I paid them in interest so long before I started being responsible. They had no problem charging me 25% interest and missed fee and late fees if I missed a payment. So now I get all the rewards and I can make up for the money that they got out of me. If I had paid them $5,000 in interest over the years and collected more of that in rewards, I come out ahead. What do you think about this mindset? Chris, listen, they're winning in life. Like, do you see their buildings? Do you see the bank's buildings around? Like, you're not getting them. Like, your $5,000, you think it's making a dent in the side of them, and it's just not. And so, for me, let me just tell you, study after study has been proven that you spend more when you spend with credit cards. Okay, that's just a fact. It's 12 to 18% or more, according to Dun & Bradstreet. That was done just a few years ago, that study. So you're going to spend more with credit cards. Even if you think I'm going to get them with the rewards, you're spending more, period. So you're getting the rewards for spending more money versus saying, hey, I'm just going to pay for what I want with cash, with my debit card, and then whatever reward I was going to get from the credit card company, I'm probably going to have saved because I used my own money, that amount or even more to make up my own rewards over here. So for me, I just know you end up spending more. I also know that your perspective when you use credit cards, even if you say you pay them off every month, which a new study came out that they said almost 28% of Americans are the only ones that actually pay off their balance in full every month. So majority of people do not. They carry a balance. But that mindset of, well, if I pay it off every month, but still, even if you do, okay, even if you do pay yours off every month, there is still this idea that at the end of the month and you pay that bill, you are still paying for things that you have already experienced. That is foods you've already eaten, movies you've already seen, vacations you've already taken. You are literally living your life in a rearview mirror. Versus if you said, I'm actually going to when I spend money, I'm going to spend my own money. And it's coming out of my bank account in the moment. And that's how I'm going to live. You end up living in the present and even in the future, because when you budget, you're looking ahead to say, hey, what am I going to be doing there? And you're casting a vision. You have a plan going forward versus continuing to look back. And that's what you do. I had a friend who was hardcore on this stuff for years. And we went out to dinner with them a few months ago. And he was like, Rachel, I got to confess, I got a Southwest credit card. I was like, I'm not going to yell at you. Like, we're still going to be friends and go to dinner and all of that, you know? He's like, I know, but I just feel like I needed to tell you. I was like, it's fine. You don't have to tell me. Well, fast forward until 2 weeks after that, we were talking, him and his wife and us, and he goes, I actually ended up cutting up that credit card I told you I got. And I was like, oh, really? He's like, yeah, I had it for about 3 months. And he said, and I realized how much more I just spent subconsciously. Like, we went to the athletic store and my kids needed new jerseys for the team, this professional team that they were getting jerseys for. And he's like, and I found myself being like, oh, we'll get the nicer ones. Yeah, because it's only like, $20 more. It's not that big of a deal. Here, go. And he's like, and I just ended up subconsciously just spending a little bit more because the emotional tie of not spending my own money was so real and so true. And when you know it's your money coming out of your account, you just spend money differently. And then the last thing I'll say, this credit card rant, man, and some people are like, oh, that doesn't bother me, but it does bother me because Chris, you're getting these rewards and all of this because of people who have mismanaged their money. People that are mismanaging their money, you're benefiting from their mismanagement for your own self. And to me, it's gross. It's a toxic environment. It's a toxic industry that I'm like, no, I want nothing to do with it. I'm good. Like, I have a debit card. I've never had a credit card. I'm alive. I'm breathing air. And you can still survive today and just spend your own money and not even mess and play with the game. So to me, I want nothing to do with them. So Chris, I don't like your mindset. Yes, what did you think about your mindset? I don't like it. There's my answer.
Megan is with us in Bakersfield, California. Hi, Megan. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
Okay, so one, I just have like a pretty weird personality, so I might get all crazy here. But we're on the tail end of baby step 2. We only have like $3,600 to pay on one bill. And my husband is finishing the last of his prerequisites to start nursing school, and we plan on just bankrolling that the whole way through with help from parents, and we don't want to take out loans.
Good.
So I am more of like a future planner. Like, I don't like to think just like, where are we going to be in 5 years? Like, I'm thinking more about the mortgage when my husband graduates, because we'll have a much larger income. And I have heard a lot about like prepaid interest or prepaid principal, and they don't really understand how that works. Like, I was watching The Pill Method, and then he was talking about taking out loans, and I was like, this guy's a nut. So I just stopped listening to it.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where I was at, was how do principal payments work?
Yeah, it makes it sound like there's some kind of a magic to it. There's not any magic to it at all. You take the interest rate of your mortgage, and you multiply it or divide it by 12, okay? And you multiply that times the outstanding balance that month. That is the interest charged that month. Does that make sense? And the rest of your payment goes towards principal. And so let's just make up some easy numbers. Let's say 6% interest rate, which would be let's use 3% interest rate, okay? That's current. That's 0.25%, 0.25 per month. If you divide 3% by 12, okay? You'll get a 0.25% per month. And so if you had a $100,000 loan, just to make the numbers real round, just because it's a good lesson to walk through, you'd say 0.025 is your, oops, I did that. It's 0.0025. Still not doing that right. $100,000. I put too many things in the calculator one time. 0.0025. There we go. Okay, there we go. $250. I should be able to do that in my head. All right. Anyway, $250 of your payment that month, if you have a $100,000 balance at 3%, would go towards interest, right?
Okay.
Now, let's say your payment was $350. It wouldn't be. Let's say it's $450, okay?
Okay.
And then, so $250 went to interest. The other $200 would pay the $100,000 down to $99,800. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the next month, your interest is calculated on $98,800 at a quarter. And so instead of being $250, I'm going to make up a number. Let's say it's $247. Okay? But your payment is still $400. But a little bit less went to interest, so a little bit more goes to principal. So instead of paying $200 towards principal the next month, in our example, it might be $203. You follow me?
Okay, so if
every time you pay principal, that makes your next payment, more of it go towards principal, less towards interest.
So if, like, say, for example, I was gifted $1,000 for, I don't know, just being amazing, and we went and put that on the principal.
Yes.
Would that change our payment the next month?
No, your payment stays the same. It changes the amount of interest would go down because you're going to be charged interest on $1,000 less. You're not paying interest on that $1,000 anymore. Okay. And so it would cause your payment would stay exactly the same, but more of your payment would go towards principal.
Oh, okay.
Because you don't have as high an interest charge because you don't have as high a balance. Your interest is calculated on the balance each month. You pay your interest rate only on what's outstanding. So if you throw $10,000 at a mortgage, you don't pay interest the next month on that $10,000.
Oh.
It saves you the interest on that $10,000. Your payment stays the same, so a lot more of your payment would then go towards principal the following month than it did before. So that's why sometimes people say, I don't want to, I've already paid all the interest, so I don't want to pay my mortgage off because I've already paid all the interest up front. No, you didn't. You only pay interest on what's outstanding. And once you've paid on a mortgage for years and years and years and you've paid the principal down, your payment is still the same. Much, much more of your payment goes towards principal after 15 years in a 30-year mortgage than in the 28th year of a 30-year mortgage.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff that they should teach in high school because nobody taught me this.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, good news is 36% of the high schools in America now carry a Dave Ramsey high school curriculum called Foundations in Personal Finance. So we've got a little over a third of them, but we got the other 2/3 to go. So, but you're exactly right. That's called a simple interest calculation that I just walked through with you. But that's how a mortgage is calculated. Have you ever seen the tables printed out on a mortgage payment where it shows the columns and it shows your payment and it shows how much is going to interest and how much is going to principal? And if you slide your finger down the page, you're like, wow, a whole lot more after paying 120 payments, paying 10 years, a whole lot more of it's going towards principal than interest. You follow me?
Yeah.
If you've ever seen that. So what happens is, if you want to do this easy without having to do the raw math, if you pay $10,000 on your balance, you just slide your finger down the outstanding balance and you're on payment number 37 when you did it, then you pay $10,000, then you're going to drop down. It might look more like payment number 61 is going to be your next payment. So you're just knocking out chunks of payments. It's going to be calculated like payment 61, wherever the balance is closest to the new balance after you paid your $10,000 down. So
that's awesome. That really helps a lot. I was super worried about it because I really want to get it paid off within like 10 years after he graduates.
Yeah, that's why throwing money at the mortgage early and often when you get to baby step 6 is so important. But it's also why you don't need to do more than once a month, because they only recalculate once a month. The payments are monthly payments. And so if you send 4 payments in a month, it doesn't change the math at all. Now, they all go towards principal, but you might as well just send one check. And so I've seen these goobs with these supposed systems that they've got and all this BS where you just start sending payments and you want to send one a week. And no, it doesn't work. Because the calculation is done once a month. It is 1/12 of the annual interest rate per month. It is not a daily or a weekly calculation on mortgages. Now, some credit cards are calculated daily, and some are calculated twice or 3 times or 4 times a month. So they're a little different. But anything is calculated once a month, paying on it more than once a month does not change the math. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, it's good to talk to you. Thank you for calling in. That's a good question.
Susan is kicking us off in Des Moines. Susan, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi. Thanks for taking my call.
Happy to take it. What's going on?
Hey, so I'm watching about the current hurricane that's heading towards Florida. And, yeah, I live in Iowa, so we get lots of tornadoes here. And I was thinking, if something wiped out the power in this area, a big natural disaster, and I didn't have access to my emergency fund, how much cash should I have on hand just in case?
Interesting question. How much do you have in your emergency fund right now?
I have over $1,000 right now.
Okay. What baby step are you in? Have you been following the plan?
I've been following the plan, yeah. So, I want to say like 2.5 to 3.
So you still have some debt?
I do still have some debt, but I'm down to less than 15% of my overall available.
Okay. How much debt do you have left?
I have about $15,000.
Okay. And then $1,000 in the bank.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, I mean,
I'm not counting my mortgage in that $15,000.
Sure.
That's
That's your consumer debt.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you called the right show at the right time because I have the prepper himself, Dr. John Deloney. This man has enough deep freezers to last a century.
Yeah, I'm more into food and things like that more than I am cash. So, hey, this is actually I grew up in Houston, so very similar. Tornadoes and hurricanes all the time, just kind of a part of life. So I'm going to tell you what I think, and I'm going to tell you what my reality is. Is that cool?
Yeah.
What I think is a small amount of cash that number is going to be relative to people. What I consider a small amount of cash and what Dave Ramsey considers a small amount of cash, very different numbers, right? But what would I need to get me a couple of days if I needed to go stay in a hotel, if I need to leave town and drive a couple hours away and put gas in the car, like very basic. If I need to go get some food and groceries and I didn't have access to A, B, or C. It's balancing this. What could happen with, like, what's probably going to happen, right? And as the son of a homicide detective, I was raised to believe it could all come down at any moment because that was my dad's world. And so that's my natural bent. And I've had to train myself over the years to, it could, but it probably won't, right? It probably won't. So I have no problem if you have $1,000 in emergency fund that you keep $250, $500 at home in cash, just as I can go get a hotel and I can drive somewhere and be somewhere for a couple hours, or I could drive 24 hours and get out of here and go stay with a friend, right? That's what we're looking for. The idea that if the whole banking system goes down, the cash is worth the paper it's printed on, right? So we tend to overdraw. We tend to pretend that the world, after some kind of crazy calamity, that the world would exist as it does. And I have a friend who's a banker, and he's like, dude, if the whole world goes down, you're going to be shooting your neighbor for water and barbecuing dog. Like the world as you know it is over, right? So it's not like my cash is going to help. Here's the other side. I don't say I'm a prepper. I'm just someone who's prepared. How about that?
Sure, that's literally a different verb.
But I live in the woods and I have a year's worth of meat on hand right now. So, right. So some would call me George would call me a prepper.
I live in a neighborhood, in a society. It's a little different. It's
exactly.
Fine. But there is wisdom in what John said.
But I don't have any cash at my house right now. I don't have $5,000 hidden at home. I've done that before. I don't have that right now. I'm not super concerned about it.
Okay.
There's a spectrum from like a tornado may be coming versus like it's the apocalypse, which I've seen Left Behind. Very scary. Anytime I see a pile of clothes, I'm nervous. I'm like, is this it? Is it happening?
It's gone.
But right. Susan, I think it's wise if you have $1,000 right now in the bank, if you want to take out 500 of that in cash and put it in a fireproof safe, I think there's some wisdom.
If that's going to help you sleep, cool.
Yeah. But I also wouldn't go over.
Yeah.
Once you're out of debt and you have fully funded,
what you guys thought.
Yeah, once you get like $10,000 in the bank, maybe you up it to $1,000 in that safe to having cash just in case. Even beyond a natural disaster, sometimes you just need to have cash on hand. Your bank accounts got locked up for some reason, and so there's wisdom in that.
During the tornado that came through Nashville here, I don't know when the last time you were in like an event where power went out for a couple of days or something like that, but I was stunned at how fast technology has shifted. People were able to buy things. I was able to buy something with my debit card on somebody's cell phone because they had one of those little plug-in things. It went very, very quickly is what I'm saying. So I grew up one time when Hurricane Alicia came through. We had nothing for like 10 days, like nothing. We cooked on a camp stove. It was the whole deal. In some parts of the world that still happens. In some parts of our country that still happens. It's very, very rare.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel better, good. Susan?
I do. I just, I've got my dry food and my water and blankets and whatever else. And I was just thinking, wow, I don't have any money. Am I going to need to put some of that aside? So I wanted to know what your thoughts were on it.
In my life, the more cash I have at my house, the more money I spend on stuff that I really don't need. It's a self-control mechanism.
But that's why I like keeping it in the fireproof safe. Not just going to sit in the wallet, John. That's how it disappears. But this is a real, John, regardless of what the reason is, natural disaster or something else, there's a lot of fear. Like I get messages probably at least once a week of someone going, but I was watching the news and what if the digital money and currency goes digital and I saw what if Biden and the IRS is going to start looking at our, and it just spirals out of control. Right. And usually they don't say I'm looking at the news. I just say, hey, turn off the news.
Turn it off.
And they go, yeah, you're right.
Turn it off. I've told it on this show, but a buddy of mine who's he's a banking commissioner, and he's just a brilliant mind when it comes to money. I was hammering him one time. Just, what about this and what about this? And I was in one of my anxiety spirals. It's all coming down. And he finally said the magic words that was like a light switch for me. And he looked at me and said, hey, John, I don't have a meteorite plan. And I was like, what's that supposed to mean? And he goes, I'm going to put money in retirement. I'm going to put money in this program. I'm going to pay my house off. I don't owe anybody on cars because they're depreciating assets, and it's dumb to borrow money on he's just so straightforward as a banker. And then he goes, and then if I get hit by a meteorite, I'm going to deal with that on that day because I'm just not going to waste my. And I was like, oh yeah. So if all the monetary system implodes and crashes,
We have bigger issues.
there'll be much
Than
bigger
not having
issues
cash
going
on
on.
hand.
That's exactly right. That at that point, you know what's going to be your best bet, your best apocalypse bet?
What's that?
Have close relationships with your neighbors. Know your neighbors so that they don't look at you as an enemy. They look at you as somebody to do life with and to get through the next hurdles that y'all are going to have to overcome together. Know your neighbors really, really well. That's your best apocalyptic move.
That's good.
Not having a bunch of cryptocurrency.
They're not going to want that if the apocalypse hits.
The zombies cannot be bought.
My neighbors, Gary and Lon, they're not going to be doing much with Dogecoin.
Nope.
But
they
I can
will
give them
bring
some
over a
tomatoes
cup of
from the
sugar.
garden. My neighbor gave me some tomatoes from his garden the other day. It was a lovely
apocalypse. Right
lovely
there.
moment. Now that we can do it.
Biden and the Democrats want to raise the debt ceiling, and McCarthy and Republicans don't want to do it. We're not going to talk about the politics of it. But
We're going
what
to
does
talk
it
about
mean
how
for
you could be affected.
if that happens? Is that something that we just kind of don't feel, George? How will raising the debt limit, which is at all-time highs, how will that affect those that are listening and watching?
Well, this is the idea. If the U.S. defaulted on its debts, meaning it can't pay the carried interest, that could cause chaos. Now, it's never happened, and so the idea here...
Doesn't mean it won't.
It doesn't mean it won't. The chances of them raising the debt ceiling, probably pretty high, because they keep doing it every year. They just keep raising the credit limit, even though we're
This
broke.
is a showdown. This is a negotiation.
Absolutely. So if you're confused as to what this all amounts to, the debt ceiling is the amount the U.S. government can borrow to honor its spending obligations. And here's how it affects you. So, by the way, the debt ceiling limit was $31.4 trillion, and we reached it. So, reach for the stars, Ken. At least we hit a goal there. That's sad. And so here's the few ways you could be impacted, America, by the debt ceiling crisis. Number one is the stock market. The stock market does not like uncertainty, and defaulting on our debts would cause the stock market to plunge. Estimates, chief economist Mark Zandi said, could plunge by 1/3 and erase $15 trillion in household wealth.
Yeah, that hurts.
That's scary.
Yep.
That could affect a lot of people, affect a lot of your retirement savings. We do not like that. The other thing it could affect is the cost to borrow. And so a default would push interest rates even higher. So the cost to borrow homes, to get that car loan, your credit card interest rates, it would explode. It would cause mayhem. The silver lining there is I hope it stops people from borrowing more money. So there you go. The last thing it could affect is Social Security and Medicare. So the debt limit fight poses several risks to these seniors who are on Social Security, Medicare. And so without a breakthrough in Congress, the government might not be able to send out those monthly benefit checks or pay for Medicare. And
let's not forget the overall value of the dollar.
That's true.
The dollar has been strong over the last year.
It could hurt the value.
It's already dropped pretty precipitously over the last couple of days, and that, again, affects overall inflation.
And it'll hurt GDP. It'll hurt our standing globally.
So it's a complete mess. And I'm just going to put this out there. We're going to get back to the phones. And it could, because you, the people, have the power to get these bums' attention in D.C. Because your governor, in most states, they have to balance the budget. Many states. It's a constitutional requirement for the state to to balance its spreadsheet. I get so angry talking about it, I can't talk.
Well,
we don't have a balanced budget amendment to the U.S. Constitution.
And Ken, we're around here. We're very fiscally conservative, and Congress historically.
Wouldn't you love to see Dave Ramsey go to Washington for about 30 days, lock all of them in a room? They only get bathroom breaks and food breaks.
I would pay to watch that on C-SPAN.
And Dave takes his good old fashioned budget, the old kitchen table, sits in the middle of the room,
yellow pad,
and he just starts going through it, and he would absolutely balance the budget.
I believe it.
I know he would. I'm not kidding you. I mean, he really could.
Would Dave darken the doors of that building? That's the question.
No.
I don't think he has any interest.
He wouldn't last 30 minutes up there, much less 30 days that it would take. But there you go.
Thanks for joining us. Caitlin is with us in Tampa. Hi, Caitlin. How are you?
I am really, really good. I'm so happy to talk to you.
You too. How can I help?
I'm a little bit overwhelmed because I was told by my coworker about you, and the more I was watching your videos, the more I realized how out of control me and my husband were with our money, and I don't know where to start. Like, I've already made a budget, and I think I made a good budget, and I talked to my husband. We're on the same page that we want to be debt free and have a house. But there's so many things that, according to the different videos I've watched yours, that I also noticed that we don't have done, like a good nest egg, or we don't have an investment. I don't have a 401k.
Mm-hmm.
He does.
Mm-hmm.
And our savings is only like $2,500.
Okay, cool. What's your household income?
I think the total is like around $100,000.
Wow, that's great. How old are you guys?
I'm 27. He's 29.
Perfect. And how much debt do you have, not counting your house?
Oh, I don't have a house. $23,000 for the student loan and car total, and a few thousand in medical. I think like around $3,500,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think like 1,000 something for our phone.
Okay. All right. Well, what we teach folks to do is, like you said, to do a budget. We have a budget system out that's free to use called Every Dollar. You can download it for you can download it for your iPhone or your Android at everydollar.com, or on in the App Store, whatever you want to do. And it'll help you build your budget in about 10 minutes. You and your husband look that over. When you do a written budget, usually you feel like you got a raise, because you're like, where is all this money going? You're going to discover that you're wasting money. You're going to discover that money's going to disorganization and so on. And when you do that, then we find money in the budget. What are our first goals? We have a process we teach called the baby steps, and that's the first thing to do, the second thing to do, the third thing to do, one baby step at a time. Your first baby step is to save $1,000. Well, you've already done that. Check. You're at $2,500, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then baby step 2 is take everything above $1,000 in any non-retirement savings or investments, and we're going to throw it at your debt, and we're going to throw anything else we can find in the budget towards your debt, listing your debts smallest to largest, payoff balance, and paying minimum payments on everything but the little one, attacking the little one with a vengeance. When it is paid off, you go to the next one. When that one's paid off, you go to the next one. When that one's paid off, you go to the next one. It sounds to me like you've got about $30,000 worth of debt with a $100,000 income. You should be debt free in a touch over a year. That's $2,500 a month.
And does that mean that after that, then I save for the house, or do I save for the retirement, or
after that, you go to baby step 3, which is a fully funded emergency fund. We raise that $1,000 up to a proper rainy day fund, which is 3 to 6 months of expenses. Then, after 3 is where people start saving for houses. We always call saving for a house baby step 3B, because 4 is 15% of your income going into retirement. So sometimes after you get your emergency fund in place, before you start saving for retirement, some people will pause right there for a year and save up a good down payment on your house. And, that's what we call baby step 3B. And Caitlin, the book that outlines all of this, that, on the bestseller list for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of weeks, is called The Total Money Makeover. And I'll send you a copy of it free. You hold on, and you and your husband go through that book together, get on Every Dollar, and get your budget going, and we'll show you exactly what to do step by step. The baby steps on steroids. That's what the Total Money Makeover basically is. It's exactly what to do and why to do it, in what order, and it'll show, there's no question. The only question is whether you're going to do it. If you do it, it'll work 100% of the time. Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Courtney's with us. Courtney is in Colorado Springs. Hi, Courtney. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me.
Sure. What's up?
My question is, how do I protect, or how does my husband and I protect our finances against his money-hungry ex-wife?
Money-hungry ex-wife.
Why would she have any access to your finances? She's called the ex-wife for a reason.
Basically, our main concern is, could she pull more child support when she finds out that he's been married?
I'm sorry. Would she get child support increased because he got a raise? Is that what you said?
Because we got married, could she take?
She doesn't get more child
she
support because you got married. Child support's based on his income, not yours.
Gotcha.
Okay. So how else would the crazy ex have access to your husband's money?
That was the only way I was thinking.
Yeah.
I've heard that they do yearly audits.
They do.
And someone
They do
would like
because your
to transfer my money.
husband has children and he should support those children, and the law agrees with that idea.
Correct.
And if he gets more money as his income, he's supposed to give more to his children. That's not a money-hungry ex. That's just dad taking care of his kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Has she contacted him? Is she making threats, or is this just all kind of in your head right now of what could happen?
She hasn't contacted him. I guess this is just me trying to make sure we protect ourselves.
Okay. Well, you're in good shape. As long as your husband is willing to give the legal percentage of his income to his children under the law for child support, which he legally and morally should do. If you want protection from that, I can't help you. But as long as he's willing to do that, you don't need protection from anything else. She can't get anything else. She has no access. Or if your husband is spineless and just gives her money because she yells at him or something. I mean, has he got that problem?
No, she's not.
Okay, so he doesn't just hand her money just because she puffs up or something, right?
Correct.
Okay. That's just a behavior issue. That's not a legal or a financial issue. But yeah, I mean, sometimes people are intimidated by their exes or whatever, and we have to just kind of correct that by saying, X in front is a reason.
Yes.
X means no mo.
No more.
That's what that means.
We're making
No
sure
mo.
the courts decide how this goes down, not his emotions or her. And so that's the important part. And it sounds like this is largely right now just a fear versus a reality.
Yeah, like you have discovered that no one likes your husband's ex. Oh, well, that's really,
Makes two of
because
you.
she's a greedy jerk. Okay, whatever. That's fine. No trouble. But she's still over there, and she's the ex, and the only involvement you have is just around the children. And so we'll try to be nice and pleasant and give the appropriate amount of child support. As long as you're trying to do that, then I don't think you're going to have any issues. There's nothing she can just, or unless she shows up at the doorstep and your husband just caves and starts handing her money. But that's a husband issue. That's not a protection issue then.
Yeah,
Right?
this was simpler than I thought it would be. I thought there was some crazy stuff going on, but it's just child support as far as we can tell.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
very reasonable.
Well, there's a real dynamic when you're the new wife and the ex is over there and the distance is crazy. That's
There's still a connection
That's
point.
a dynamic. Yeah.
Those kids are still going to be in his life, so you're going to have to learn to manage it.
Yeah, it's a thing. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Today's question is from Jamie in Texas. Dave, I just blew most of my $1,000 work bonus on my online gambling addiction. I know I did the dumbest thing possible, and I need help with this addiction. I've talked to my family about it, and they're extremely supportive, but now I've started lying about it, and I feel so much guilt. Please help me so I can refocus and stop gambling my hard-earned money away. Jamie, you have gotten caught up in one of the two largest and fastest growing addictions in America today. Number one addiction in America today is online porn. Number two is gambling, and it includes sports betting. And sports betting right now in the height of football season is completely over the top and out of control. If I see Caesar one more time, I'm going to shoot something. I'm so sick of these commercials, but they're making so much money off you people. You think those commercials are free? You know why that commercial runs on every break, people? Because they make so much money off you. So, Jamie, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're struggling with this. It's a very harsh thing. The great news is you have recognized where you are, that you are addicted. And I'm running into a lot of young men in their 20s and early 30s who are losing everything to gambling addiction right now. Personal friends, lost jobs, marriages, my kids' personal friends. It's wild, and it's really sad. So you're right to be concerned and scared and self-aware about the guilt and the regret and the sense of no control. So what would I do if I found myself in that situation? I'm not sitting here with Dr. John Deloney at this moment, so I can't have him chime in as a professional counselor. But I can tell you, as a guy who's been around addicts my whole life, working with them, because 100% of addicts eventually end up broke, so we get to talk to them all the time. You have got to get some people and some processes in your corner to help you. And so if I woke up in your shoes, I would go talk to my pastor and start having a weekly lunch with him. I would get plugged into Gamblers Anonymous immediately. I would also call a therapist, a counselor, and start sitting down with a counselor daily, weekly, whatever it takes. Even if it costs some money, because this gambling thing is going to cost you everything if you don't break it. It is evil and it is vicious. It is merciless what it will do to you. It will beat the snot out of you and leave you on the side of the road for dead, dude. And so you have got to be very afraid of the power of this over you. So afraid that you take drastic changes and you don't worry about embarrassment. You tell everybody, I'm addicted. Help me. I'm addicted to this. Help me get out of it. Help me heal this addiction. Help me get away from it. Get in Gamblers Anonymous. Get with a one-on-one counselor. Get with your pastor. And lastly, get a group of friends in your life who will bust you. Not the ones who are saying it's okay. And your family, it sounds like when you say they're supportive, it sounds like they've been soft. If you were in my life, I would love you so much that you would feel it. I'm going to be all up in your stuff because I love you so much that that's what it's going to take. A pat on the back and a yay rah doesn't help when you're an addict. It takes more force than that to move people out of an addictive behavior and to move them into the help that they need to break an addictive behavior. And so it is not an act of love to be soft on an addict. It is quite the opposite. It's borderline enabling, if not full-on enabling. So, Jamie, I appreciate that your family is extremely supportive, but what extremely supportive should be is making you highly uncomfortable, not comfortable. And the way you're saying that, I kind of think they're going, oh, poor Jamie. I'm going to bust Jamie is what I'm going to do because I love him. And I'm going to be all up in his stuff. And that's what it takes, man. You're not going to break something like this if you don't. Because there's a chemistry that goes with this. There's the endorphin release, the dopamine release, the high you get when you hit, when you actually win, whatever it is you're gambling, whether you're sports betting or whether you're playing cards or whether you're online gambling, whatever you're doing, you get a high on it. And it keeps you coming back. It keeps you coming back. And that's the addictive nature of it. And actually, we're addicted in that case to the chemicals in our own body. But it's not out of your control. And you're not a victim to it, and you don't have to be this way. You get to choose, but you've got to put some different people in your life. And your buddies you've been hanging out with that think this is cool, they're off limits. You got to stop it. If you have a drinking problem, you can't run around with your drinking buddies. And otherwise you're going to have a drinking problem. Duh. You become who you hang around with, man. You talk like them, you walk like them, you read like them, you go to church like them, and you treat your wife like them. You become who you hang around with. And so you've got to put some people in your life that are different than the ones that have been in your life that thought this was okay. And that's why I'm outlining like a pastor, GA, a good counselor, and you're going to write a check or two for some of this stuff. But again, it's going to be cheaper than the gambling addiction. This is the problem, the downside of the internet. The internet is not evil, but access to porn you used to have to go to a lot of effort to get to porn. Now 3 clicks and you're in. 4 clicks and you're into stuff no human should ever see. The access that the internet gives you to betting, It's to the point that it's like if you're not doing it, you're not cool because everybody's betting. I mean, if you don't believe me, watch the commercials on every football game. Every commercial break is 2 betting commercials at least. This is tens of millions of dollars of ad revenue every night, every time you turn on a football game. They don't give those commercials away. Because, by the way, let me help you with this. Broadcast television has no one watching it anymore. Their ratings have evaporated. People watch on demand only. The only live television anyone is watching is the weather report on the local news and live sporting events. So the NFL ratings used to be the largest thing during the playoffs, and they would beat the best sitcom on CBS or the best movie of the week on NBC by a few ratings points. Now it's 10 and 20 and 30x because no one is watching that crap. If you've turned on broadcast television lately and you had to try to watch a movie and all the commercials keep interrupting you and you get pissed off, that means you haven't watched broadcast TV in a long time because that's the way it's always been. But you quit watching it and you started watching on Netflix, on Hulu. You start watching it, and this access that it's giving you it's devastating, you guys. So the shift of the internet on gambling addictive behaviors is very real. And some of you, that's your wake-up call, this little rant right here. And Jamie's little problem is a whole bunch of people's problem out there. It's an explosion of negative consequences. And you guys have got to manage it for your own lives. You're not a victim of it.
Brandon joins us up next. He is down the street here in Nashville, Tennessee. Brandon, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Great. What's going on?
So basically I'm calling because I'm 24. I recently married last year of June. We have a 5-month-old kid.
Oh, congrats.
And hey, thanks. And I am scared for myself. I know that I haven't been doing the best. I am trying, though, every single time. I just got out of the Army in January. I got a good job that it's so good that I plan on staying there for life in Portland, Tennessee. And I'm making about $6,500 a month. $2,300 of that is from the VA, tax-free. I'm in $64,000 in debt, and $52,000 of that is vehicles, which is a truck and a car, and $12,000 of that is credit cards. Every paycheck, I get paid weekly. I put money in the savings, and I pay everything as much as I can. Aside from that, take care of the family. But I'm getting scared because I have a problem where I have a spending problem. My wife is great. She's more of the savings person. And I have this problem where if I see something, I'm afraid if I don't get it then, I'll never get it again, or I'll never have the opportunity. And about of the $6,500 a month, about $4,000 of that goes away to all that stuff. And I want to be, I'm
all right.
I'm struggling to where, I have money, I'm surviving, taking care of the family good, but obviously I'm not.
Dude, you are worth more than surviving, Brandon. And thank you so much for your service to this country.
Yeah, absolutely.
So here's the deal. You are a dad now. This is not 21-year-old Brandon having a good time, living his life. This is Brandon as a father, as a husband, and that means we have to make adult decisions, and that means these vehicles are probably gone this week. And it means we're not going to have the fanciest, newest toys. We're going to drive a beater car because we have to get our family to financial safety. And I can feel that fear in your voice. You told me you're scared. So are you willing to do something so that you can remove this fear and stress out of your life?
So here's the thing. Before I go to the vehicles, we're moving in on April 21st, and that's where we had $9,000 in savings. You guys are probably going to be mad at me for this.
I'm not mad at you.
We had no furniture. Right now, we're living in a place where it's life-threatening to where, I wouldn't say life-threatening, but it's very disgusting. We are very organized and everything, but my family is living with roaches. Thankfully, the kid can't crawl yet. And the renter guy, it's all under the table. He's nice, he's a good guy, but he's lazy. So we're moving immediately to a very nice place, very nice apartment complex. So that's where all the money went. I outright bought a very good bed, couch, everything that we need to survive and live comfortably. Back to the vehicles, I am willing to, but I'm also scared because, okay, my dream vehicle is a Tacoma, and I have it. I got it brand new 2020.
You're living the nightmare, dude.
Brandon, you can get a Tacoma later. There's lots of Tacomas.
If this was such a dream, you wouldn't be calling us.
So Brandon, I hear such a scarcity mindset with you. So here's what I want to reset. All of this, the decisions that we're going to be talking about in this phone call, it's for a short period of time, okay? I feel like the Ramsey show, the brand, gets such a bad rap sometimes because everyone's like, you just want people driving crappy cars and not going on vacation. No, the slogan is you live like no one else, so later you get to live and give like no one else. These sacrifices, Brandon, is not for your entire life. If we told you to do it for your entire life, we'd be crazy. I wouldn't listen to us. This is for a short period of time. For a few years of your life, you're going to get your crap cleaned up. You're going to feel the best, the most peace you have ever felt as a man to be able to take care of your family with cash in the bank, living in a good spot, maybe not driving your dream car. All of that's going to be settled. Then you get to say, wow, Brandon, I really want a Tacoma. Guess what? You're going to have the money to go get a Tacoma, Brandon. It's going to happen. It's just not happening right now. And the problem is this instant gratification, and you're overcompensating, right? Like you're in a crappy spot right now where you're living. So we need to go get in a really nice spot with really nice furniture and all this. You got to find a middle ground, Brandon. So I want you guys to, sell the cars tomorrow. I want you to get $1,000 ASAP, and then I want you to start working on this credit card debt and pay it off. But with these cars gone, it's going to help the debt amount, and then I want you guys saving 3 to 6 months of expenses. And with your job, everything that you guys are doing, in 24 months, Brandon, your life is going to look different. We're going to give you a free membership, a year membership to Ramsey Plus for you and your wife to work together on this plan.
Was she unclear? No, she was not. Thank you for that, Rachel. If you are driving your dream truck and you live with roaches, you are not living the dream. You're living a nightmare, dude. This is The Ramsey Show.
Thank you for joining us, America. Nick is with us in Canton, Ohio. Hi, Nick. How are you?
I'm great, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I have a question for you that I probably know what you're going to say, but I guess wanted to get your logic on it anyway. So in short, I've got a car loan, and I'm trying to figure out if I should pay it off or not. My logic for not wanting to pay it off mainly would just be for the sake of a credit score and playing that game. Mm-hmm. In the relatively near future, I'd be maybe looking to rent, potentially buy a house. I think I've heard you say before that you might need a credit score to rent. So I guess that's my logic. I wasn't sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't know.
Here,
what more
we can look at. Let's look at it at two levels. One, let's look at it at the overarching idea, and then let's look at the details in your situation after that. Okay. The overarching idea of building a credit score assumes that you're going to borrow money or not pay it off in the case of your car. Why? So that I have a score that says that I pay money back well, which the credit score is 100% determined by interaction with debt. And so I'm borrowing money so that I have a good credit score. Why? So that I can borrow money. Why? So that I can have a better credit score. Why? Because borrowing money gets me my dreams, ultimately, is what we're saying. And then when we drill down into that, the truth is that the fastest path to wealth, which from a money perspective gives you your dreams, the fastest path to building wealth is to use your most powerful wealth-building tool, which is your income. In other words, what you pay out in a car payment, what you pay out in a student loan payment, what you pay out in payments would make you wealthy faster than buying crap that you don't have the money to pay for. And so this whole idea of a dog chasing its tail on the credit score, you see what I'm saying is that it's, we're borrowing money. Why? So that we can borrow money. Why? So that we can borrow money. Why? So that we can borrow money. That's the dog chasing its tail. Yeah. Do you follow me? And so you can see a crazy dog running in circles, and we got half the culture as a crazy dog running in circles. And worship at the altar of the FICO score as if the FICO score is your provider, when mathematically, when we dig down into it and we learn people that build wealth, what do? They just don't owe other people, and that allows them to save, invest, and give, which is the shortest path to wealth. Now, that's the overarching part. Now, drill down into your situation, into the technicalities. If you're listening to Dave Ramsey, no, you never heard me say that you have to have a credit score to rent. You have to have a credit score to rent some places, but you don't have to have a credit score to rent from me, as an example. I'm a landlord. I got a bunch of rental property. There's lots of people like me out there that would look at a sharp young guy who's, got a good job and doesn't have a credit score, which, oh, by the way, you could remind them means I don't have any payments, which what that means is I actually have the money to pay your rent. And so a landlord would stop and go, oh, yeah. Now, there are corporate landlords who are large property holders, and they have rules, and they won't rent to you if you don't have a credit score, which means that I'm worth tens of millions of dollars, and they wouldn't rent to me, which shows kind of how stupid they are, right? I mean, it means I can go down here to the corner apartment complex, and they might not rent to me if they're corporate owner because I don't have a credit score. I can write a check and buy the complex, but I can't rent there. Right. That's how ridiculous this is, okay? So now, so I don't give people a pass for credit score purposes on borrowing money ever for anything because you can work around it, and I have for 25 or 30 years now. And so because I want to build wealth, and because I want to build wealth, that means I don't give money to these people. Because an 800 credit score means you've paid out at least $100,000 in interest. It's the only way you got that. It's impossible mathematically to get it otherwise. Now, so in your situation, I'd pay the car off. Now, the one thing that does come up is, okay, how do we buy a house? How do we buy a house without a credit score? You have to find a mortgage lender, and there's only about 1 in 20 that know how to do it. About 19 out of 20 don't know how to do it, that can do manual underwriting, which is old school underwriting for the loan, which is what we used to do back in the day when I was in my 20s selling real estate before there was a credit score. We actually would look and we would get verification that they had a job, a VOE, verification of employment, a VOD, verification of deposit from the bank, that they had the money in the bank for the down payment. And we would go through and confirm with the landlord in writing that they currently were renting from, that they could, that they were paying the rent on time. Therefore, we think they might pay the mortgage on time. And that's called manual underwriting. And you can still get a mortgage with that. It's not a higher interest rate. It's not a problem. There's lots of mortgage companies don't know how to do that, but there's 1 in 20 or so that do, and Churchill Mortgage that we endorse is one of them. And so what I would tell you based on all of that jabbering is don't borrow money and getting debts that you have paid off, because that's the shortest path to wealth. And if you're going to borrow to buy a home, do it with manual underwriting, and don't run around worshiping at the altar of the FICO score. The more you do that, the more money you give to banks, and you become a dog chasing its tail. I borrow money. Why? So that I have a good score. Why? So that I can borrow money. Why? So that I have a good score. Why? So that I can borrow more money. And it's just a dog chasing its tail. And again, the vast majority of the culture is that crazy butt dog, chasing its tail. And they do. You've seen them go in circles. They're nutty.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Hey, Damon, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
We are doing great. How can we help?
So, I've made a decision about 2 years ago that haunts me up until today.
Okay.
Where me and my family, we were renting, and we decided that we were going to purchase a house together, and we all put maybe $10,000 each to get $50,000 to get the house. And the house was $420 and at a 2.8%. So ever since we moved to the house, I haven't lived there because I was still going to school. and I was still commuting, spending maybe up to $500 per month in gas. And we decided that we made a verbal agreement that we were going to continue to pay even though we don't live there anymore. And I realized how bad of a decision that was. And I want to tell him that I can't continue to pay this anymore, but knowing how my family is, I know Thanksgiving is not going to look the same for me if I tell them this, and I don't know where to go, and I haven't been able to sleep. I just stare in space all day. Like, I don't know what to do.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so who all, when you say your family, is this like your parents and siblings, or who does this, what makes up this?
Parents and siblings.
Parents and siblings. And
is someone renting this house right now since you all aren't living in it?
We all are living in it, but we all put together to contribute to the mortgage and the bills. But in the past year, I haven't lived there, and I've been paying religiously nonstop every month towards the bills, $600, and another $100 towards like utilities, but $600 towards the mortgage.
And so you're renting somewhere else?
I'm living with a friend because it's closer to my job.
Okay.
But I'm not able to save, and my student loans are about to kick in, and I have credit cards, and I just don't know what to do.
Well, sure you do. You know exactly what to do. This is, you said you're in a fog. I'm using my words. You said you just stare into nothingness all day long. I mean, this is absolutely shutting you down. You're not going to be able to live forever with your friend. You're going to get kicked out of that eventually. This is slowly breaking you down. You know exactly what to do. You have to sit down with your parents and your siblings and say, I know I gave you a verbal agreement, but here's where my life is. And here's how I got there. Student loans, you show them everything. I can't afford to pay you $700 a month. And they're going to say, well, then why don't you live here? And you go, I don't want to live here. And you're going to tell them all the reasons why you don't live there. And it's going to suck. But you're going to have to choose your own livelihood. And I mean, like, as in living, well-being. You're going to have to choose you. And you're going to have a big boy conversation and own it. And if they get mad at you for a while and Thanksgiving sucks, I would rather have a sucky Thanksgiving or 2 or 3 than a sucky life.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that's what it's and I also think it's fair because on their end they're thinking, yeah, well, we've agreed to this. Yeah, and
I understand that too.
And you're breaking that. But Damon, to Ken's point, it has to. Like, this doesn't sustain. This you can't live like this. So I think that even saying, I understand, I'm backing out of what I said. But I don't even have I don't have the ability. I don't have the ability anymore to do this. And so if there's something else I can do to maybe help, but I think too, Damon, like, I think owning it is a very humble thing to do. And I would do that, but also for your sake. And I would I would pray your parents, which I always think the best about relationship. I'm always like, I'm sure your parents are wonderful.
Oh, they're great.
So you would pray.
Thanksgiving's going to be wonderful.
You would pray that your parents would say, yeah, we see this in our son. We see the numbers in the situation, and we don't want to put that on our son. How old are you?
I'm 30.
How old were you when you did this deal?
28.
Okay, so it was just 2 years ago. Do they find it, like, was there going to be a point that you guys would have this, like, paid off and then y'all would split the equity? Like, what was the plan?
The plan was, because we moved to America, so the plan was just to have somewhere to live and have a family home.
Yeah, and everyone contribute. Will this put them with your parents? Do you know the math of when you do choose to stop paying? Will they still be able to cover the payment?
There are enough adults in the house where they will be able to cover the payment. If I stop paying, they will be able to pay like maybe $200 extra. And, they'll just have to adjust their spending habits.
Yeah.
But one of my siblings already cut communications with me, attempting to have a conversation about this. Oh. And that's the kind of person they are.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. I don't make light of that, but I mean, you have no choice. You either choose to not have an awkward situation with them, or you choose to have an awful life. And
can I say, if they choose to cut off communication with you because of this, that's their choice.
Yeah.
you can't control that. And it's would be one of the most painful, terrible scenarios when there's fractured relationships in life. I think it's just, I mean, there's grief in that. I mean, it's terrible. But you didn't choose that. You still want relationship with them. You just can't make a $700 payment to a house that you don't live in anymore. And that's what you're asking to be out of, not out of the family. And so if they choose to take a different route, sadly, that is on them.
Yeah.
Where did you guys move? Where did you guys move from? Where are you guys from originally?
We moved from New Jersey to New York.
But before, you said we came to America.
Oh, we moved from the Caribbean.
Okay. Because I do know too, that certain level of loyalty in your word and certain cultures, right, holds way more weight than others, right? So I know that sometimes is at play as well. But I would own what I signed up for and that I can't fulfill it. But them choosing to not communicate with you anymore, that's their stuff, right? And if it's not this, and if those are the kind of people they are, I hate to say it, there's going to be something else in life. You marry someone they don't agree with, you raise your kids a certain, you know what I mean? Like, eventually that happens. But I'm so sorry.
Damien, you aren't a bad person. I think you were calling for permission. We don't have the power to give it to you, but I will tell you that we're in agreement on what you should do, and so are you. And you need to do this. You're not a bad person for doing this. And I think you need to give yourself some forgiveness for not living up to what you agreed to and knowing that you got to make a different decision, which is the right decision. So do it and move forward.
Anthony's with us in Panama City, Florida. Hi, Anthony. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to talk to you and John.
Sure. How can we help?
I've got a question. Just wanted to get some opinion, have some men speak some knowledge into this. My wife and I want to own a campground someday. We've come to this, we call it our vocation. We want to own one, and we don't know what that's going to look like as far as something that we would fund fully with cash to acquire a campground, like an RV park campground, or if you get a loan, take on debt to do so.
So this is like a dream in the future?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. How old are you guys?
I had to think about that for a second. I'm 30. My wife's 28.
Okay, cool.
When you turn 30, you hear, the
you
memory loss.
start losing your hearing. Yeah.
And memory loss.
In your memory.
Right away.
And your speech patterns.
Exactly.
So
why camping, man? What is it about camping?
Well, we both love it. It's funny. I'm like kind of a jack of all trades, master of none. I'd like to do everything, and we've been spending a lot of time at night, talking about what we want to do with our future, and we've settled on this idea that this is something that could really get the gears turning for us and keep us busy, and we work really well together, and we'd like to do it together, and we plan to live there too. So we see ourselves living on a campground, or at least in close proximity, absorbing and taking on the lifestyle of being campground owners.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, the first time you run a business of any kind, you start finding out that you didn't know what you didn't know. There's all these little surprises that go, woohoo! You went, I had no idea. And they're like, yep, you had no idea. That's why we got you. And you're going to discover that regardless of what kind of business you own, the first time you own a business and run a business. And it's more than just keeping the toilets cleaned in this case, or the electrical hookups working, or whatever jack of all trades things. You got all this other stuff called accounting and marketing and collections and payment systems and a website, because that's how everyone does everything now, right? Oh, maybe even an app, right? And so, that's got a lot. That's a long way from running wiring to the picnic shed, okay? And so, there's a lot of different skills you're going to have running a business that you need to develop over time. And you don't want to discover those with big, hairy payments coming at your face every month. I would rather you discover those more gently than that. So let's say that since this is just a dream at this point, let's just adapt what some middle steps are. You're wanting to go from 0 to 100 in one leap. And how can we do this in the middle? And I'll give you an example. I don't borrow money, and I'm not going to tell you to borrow money. So we're going to work our way through there, because I'm not. That doesn't mean I'm a dream killer either. I want you to live a dream, but I don't want your dream to be a nightmare. So I love, in your case, you love campgrounds. I love real estate. And a building that we moved into, of 55,000 square feet, was a $5 million building, and that was 20 years ago, I think, something like that. Let's just call it 20 years ago. And we didn't have $5 million, but I really, really wanted to own this building, kind of like you want to own a campground. You following me?
Yes.
Okay. So what did I do? I leased it with an option to purchase it for 5 years. I didn't have $500,000, much less $5 million. But I started collecting all the nickels out of the corner of the couch for the next 5 years and barely scraped together the money at the last minute and exercised the option after 5 years. Thank God I did, because by then the building was worth $13 million and I bought it for $5 million. So what's known as a freaking deal, right? But I did not borrow money, and I was telling God all along while I was looking for the nickels in the corner of the couch, if you don't send the money, I'm not buying this, because I'm not going to borrow money, period. And me and God had a lot of conversations about that. So I kind of had to lay my guidelines out. But during that time, I learned a lot about that building. We learned that the former owner had not taken care of the roof, and the former owner had not taken care of the heat and air. And we learned that the heat and air was from another century. And we had to go in and rework a bunch of that, and boiler, baling wire and duct tape. How does this run parallel to what you're saying? Maybe a way to do something similar might be go to work for a campground. Be the general manager. And maybe they provide housing, and you stay there, and you run the whole thing for an absentee owner. And that includes you doing the repairs, and you learning how to do the accounting, and you learning from the owner how he did marketing for the past 20 years, because he was doing this stuff when you were knee-high to nothing. And let's get in there and just get it all over you a little bit, and you might discover you freaking hate it, but you might discover it's even better than you thought, and this is like awesome. And then you might be able to option it and buy it from him with the profits instead of with debt.
Okay.
I'm making up a dream scenario, but I'd rather make up one of those than you go get an SBA loan and call me up 4 months later and go, I'm broke. Oh, by the way, COVID hit and they don't allow camping anymore.
Yeah.
Because that never happens.
I like the slower move into it, like you guys say. When I watch show, you don't want to jump or leap into it, because we're both gainfully employed now, and we're just thinking of the options. How do we keep? But
let's just say, what do you make a year?
Combined, we're about $160.
No. What do you make
before taxes? $82,000.
Okay. Well, let's say he paid you $60 to run the campground. You took a pay cut, but you got an option to buy the thing from him anytime in the next 7 years. As a part of operating it for him. I'm modeling after my little building deal, and you can make it up. You can make up a different narrative, a different story, but the point is, walk into it, don't leap into it, and lay your structure out to do that.
Yeah, the word that keeps coming to mind is let's practice. Before we go to the major leagues, let's practice. Let's at least take some batting practice before we decide this is what we're going to do forever. I love that idea. And even if you can't get a job at a campground in your local area, get a job at working the evening shift at a local hotel, hospitality industry. Because the campground industry,
it's tough.
It's a lot of people, man. That's a tough gig.
Well, and these are, if something's broken, it's broken like right then.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if it's 2 a.m.
That's right.
It's broken right
And if you live on, the reason they let you live on site
is because they're going to come knock on your door.
They want you to come get it.
You are the emergency toilet guy. That's your job, man. And welcome to doing it. That's it's okay. It's part of the gig. And there's no downside of that, except that that's who it is. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Megan is with us. Megan is in Indianapolis. Hi, Megan. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Great. How can we help?
I'm calling because I have just put myself in a terrible financial situation, and I'm just really scared and stressed about my finances, and I don't really know where to start or how to go about tackling all of my debt.
Okay. How much do you owe?
So I have about $15,000 in credit cards. I have $32,000 in student loans. I have almost $9,000 in personal debt, and then I owe $6,000 on back taxes. a small medical debt of about $1,000, and then a vehicle for $14,000.
Okay. What do you make?
50.
Okay. How old are you?
29.
Okay. And you're single?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's a pretty scary situation. I don't blame you. What are you current on? All of it or right now or what?
It's all current, but the monthly payment amount on everything is the majority of my income, it feels like. And so it just feels like I'm just paying the minimum, and then, nothing's going down, and I don't have a ton of extra income to be throwing at it. So
what do you do?
So my family owns a wedding venue, and so I run that full time.
Okay. All right. How'd you get $6,000 behind on your taxes?
So because I'm technically self-employed, I should have been setting more money aside for taxes.
You own the wedding venue?
Yes, part owner.
Okay, so you guys don't take tax. You guys don't do payroll and take taxes out.
We do for the rest of our employees, our part-time employees that we have. But my financial person told me because I'm considered the owner, I can't be on payroll.
Bull crap.
That's what I
need a new
told.
financial person.
Yeah, I've been on my own payroll for 25, 27 years. I mean. Yeah, you definitely be on your own payroll for sure, and you should be. That's a good way to make sure you don't get behind on your taxes. All right, okay.
What's the car worth?
So I had my previous car paid off, and 2 days after Christmas, just a couple weeks ago, totaled my car. So it's brand new, like within this last week.
So I'm confused. Wait a minute. You totaled your car, but they gave you a check for that.
Yeah, so they gave me a $6,000 check.
Yeah, so why would you go in debt to buy a car when you're so broke you can't breathe?
Well,
You had a $6,000 car. Why didn't you take $6,000 and go buy another $6,000 car?
Yeah, I considered that.
Yeah.
And talked to my parents about it and was worried because I have no savings that I
You were driving a $6,000 car before.
Yeah.
Now suddenly a $6,000 car is not okay?
I was just concerned that it would immediately after I got it have all sorts of issues and I wouldn't have the money to fix
The
it.
$6,000 car you were driving didn't have all sorts of issues until you totaled it.
Right.
So that's a dumb thing to think. It's not true. Especially as broke as you are, Megan. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You can't keep digging a hole and then gripe about the hole.
Is this car worth $20,000?
So I put the $6,000 towards the $20,000 car, so the mortgage is $14,000 then.
Yeah, so the car is you just bought it for $20,000.
The loan is $14,000. Yeah.
Great.
So if you sold the car for $20,000, you would get a check for $6,000 after paying the loan.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go ahead and sell it.
That's going to help because you have $77,000.
You just took on more payments when you can't afford the ones you've got.
Right.
And then call me confused, thinking you're bankrupt. 4 weeks after you did that, right?
Right. Yeah.
You understand how inconsistent that is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Think about this, Megan. You could clear 20% of your total debt just by selling this car and driving a cheaper car. $14,000 out of the 77.
Right.
That'll get you on your way.
Right.
Now making 50. Let's do another job or two.
So,
get the income
how many
up.
hours a week are you working at the family business for $50,000?
It varies week by week. Right now, we're kind of in a slow season through March, but then it'll really pick back up starting in the spring through the end of the year.
All right. So you called. I'm scared and I'm stressed, and I've been there. I know how that feels. It's not fun. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm stuck, and the math tells me that you are stuck.
Yeah.
That all you're doing is paying minimum payments, and you feel like a rat in a wheel. Now, how are we going to break this log jam? How are we going to break this clogged drain and get flowing again, right? Well, there's two things. We increase our income dramatically. And so if you keep doing exactly what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting exactly what you've been getting. So if you want out of this, you're going to have to do some radical things. And you can get out of it then, okay? But you're going to have to work like a lot more than you're working and find a really strong paying side hustle that you go crazy for a short period of time. And you need to sell this car and go buy a $6,000 car.
Okay.
And then you can clear up the taxes, and then you can clear up the stupid credit cards. How long has it been since you used a credit card?
Well, probably 3 months.
Is that true?
I've been really trying not to use credit cards.
Okay. I want you to get out scissors tonight and light a candle and have a plastectomy party. Chop them all up.
Okay.
I want to get rid of any temptation to ever use them again.
Okay.
Because that would be just like going and buying this car on payments. You're going backward instead of forward.
Right.
We can't use them anymore. They have to go away. And then we're going to put you into Financial Peace University because I've been scared and I know what it's like. But let me just tell you, if you just keep coasting the way you've been coasting and taking these paths of least resistance, like this ridiculous car story, and it's ridiculous, Megan. If you keep doing that, you're going to bankrupt yourself. You've got to turn this in another direction, and that's really go crazy, increase your income, chop up the credit cards, and get this car sold and get you a $6,000 car. And unless your parents are going to pay for things, they don't get a vote anymore because their vote was stupid. And you really got to get this geared up. Hang on. We're going to get you signed up for Financial Peace University and help you with this. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Allison's with us in Tampa, Florida. Hey, Allison, what's up?
Hi. Pleasure to be speaking with you today. I'm calling because I think I made the worst financial decision of my life.
Uh-oh, what'd you do?
I am trying to get out of my timeshare.
Oh, you did. Oh, you made a horrible decision.
I know.
It's legalized fraud. Oh, where did you buy a timeshare?
Like what state?
Yeah.
Or what company?
Where? Well,
I bought it in California.
In California. What company?
It's Wealth Financial.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. Oh, how long ago did you buy it?
21.
Wow. Just had a weak moment, huh?
Yeah. And, my fiance and I are just now trying to save for our first home. So it's really just like...
You still owe money on this thing?
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not kidding you.
And I've really tried. I tried everything, contacting them. They have reiterated to me many times they have no deed buyback programs, and I cannot sell or transfer the loan to anyone until the loan is fully paid off.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a horrible, horrible industry. It's just the worst. Like I got the two calls back to back. I got whole life call, and the next call has to be about payday lenders. I mean, this is like the whole life to timeshare to payday lenders.
We're gonna have to get his blood pressure machine in.
Oh man, I'm so sorry.
Unhealthy.
Yeah, you're just. How much do you owe on the stinking thing?
Yeah, about $14,000.
Oh my gosh. So what'd you do? Go out there and stay like for free, and they put you in a room and wouldn't let you out till you bought, or how'd that work?
No, we were at an amusement park and they, offered us a free vacation, which we got, whether or not we wanted to buy. And I told him, like, my boyfriend at the time, we're not going to do anything. The guy obviously, was very good at his job. He had made a lot of promises that I'm realizing aren't even true. Like, for example, if you book with one of their partners, then you get a free week every time you book with them. So we went ahead and booked the end of September. Come to realize now we don't get that free week because they're not with that company anymore. Things like that.
So this is called a fraudulent inducement. Yeah, he told you a lie to get you to buy. So here's what you do, and I don't know if this will work, but it's the only shot you got, okay?
Okay.
Getting out of these things is very difficult. You stepped into a bear trap. and it got you on the leg. And getting out of it by yourself, it's hard. It's very hard. And even with help, getting out of it's very hard. It's a nasty, filthy business, as you've already discovered, right?
And I have heard of the timeshare exit team.
They're gone. They're gone. They got run out of business. They got run out of business by the Washington Attorney General and by
go up that avenue.
Yeah, they're horrible. I mean, it was a horrible mess. They did a good job. They got 20,000 people out, but they got run out of business by the timeshare business. The legal bills. They got sued 60,000 different ways, and then the timeshare business got the Washington Attorney General after them, and it was just a disaster. But for a while, that was a good avenue. There is a couple of groups that are still open doing exits that are legitimate groups. They're legitimate companies that do exits, but the exit, even using one of these people, is very difficult. Okay, so no guarantees, and they're not. It's not an endorsement. They don't work for me. They don't, they don't pay me or anything like that. There's a company called the Newton Group, and they've actually been helping some of the timeshare exit customers that didn't get help because timeshare went out of business. They're trying to help some of them too. But the Newton Group at timesharetruth.com. And they've been here to our offices. We've met with them. I met with Mr. Newton and with several of the lawyers that are on his staff. They're good people. But they will look at you in the face and say, getting out of these things is very difficult. But sometimes they're able to pull it off. But no promises. But that's what I'll tell you. timesharetruth.com, the Newton Group. And
Okay.
that's the best thing I can give you. And other than that, just yell at the entire world. Don't ever go to a timeshare presentation under any circumstances. There's no reason. There's no free vacation that's worth putting up with this crap. These are low-class human beings. It's a low-class business. It's nasty. It's filthy. They lie. It's legalized fraud. Have I been unclear, Ken?
Well, Dave, I was going to ask you to expound on that thought a little bit. I don't think you've covered it from enough angles, quite frankly. But I don't want to criticize.
I hate the timeshare business.
Yeah.
Because they screw people. And
Now,
I just can't stand when the consumer's getting messed over.
Yeah.
It makes me mad.
So what if she can't get out of this?
She's going to write a check.
She has to pay it.
$14,000, and then she's the proud owner, and then the stupid maintenance fees are going to go up every year.
Right. And then can she sell it?
It's like a disease you can't get rid of.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
You can't. They're for sale on eBay for $1.
Ooh,
Nobody
really?
wants them.
Ah.
Because you get the maintenance fees, and the maintenance fees go up every year. Because these companies are just straight up scum. It's just awful. I mean, all of them are engaged in it. It's just, please, people, never go into the tiger cage. That's what I call when you go in for the sales presentation.
Yeah. Oh.
It's like,
the tiger has not been fed in 4 days.
Yeah.
But if you can sit in the tiger cage and not get eaten
Yeah.
for 2 hours, we'll give you a free Disney vacation.
Yeah.
We'll let you go to the water park for free if you can sit with the tiger and not get eaten. And he's very hungry, though, we will tell you. And you sit in there with the tiger. Don't go in the tiger cage.
They're going to win.
Don't go in.
They beat you down.
What do you think you are, Tiger King? Stay out of there, man. It's just, don't do it. Stay away from the tiger. Stinking guy will eat you, man. It's unbelievable.
We should do a hidden camera thing where we put hidden camera on me and let me be the most obnoxious question asker. Every time they put some, I throw a question back and we just
You
keep
could do
messing.
that.
I could do it.
You
It
could-
would be hysterical.
Yeah,
Be a big hit, Dave. I go in totally mic'd up, hidden camera,
You
and
would
I
actually be the best Ramsey personality at being obnoxious.
I drive. Thank you, Dave. That means a lot. That's like the line from Christmas Vacation where he says,
Can you see? All right. Do you send George Camel in there?
No, me. It's me.
Do you send Deloney in there? No, he would already be psychoanalyzing.
He
them
would have
before you
fallen
could get
for
out.
it and be hugging everybody.
Yeah. And Rachel would make everybody their friend. I mean, you or me, we're the only two that are left.
We have the spiritual gift of confrontation.
That's it. Well, no, we just stir up crap.
That's what I mean.
Oh, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Same thing.
Okay.
And so just bugging him and driving him nuts to watch the guy need an antacid by the time I'm done with him.
Yeah.
Totally because here's what they do. What they do is it's high pressure and they make you feel guilty.
Don't you
for
love your
taking
family?
their freebie.
Don't you love your family?
Yeah, right.
You don't love your family?
Well, not
Come on.
apparently
I mean,
as
come
much
on.
as you do.
Don't you love your family?
Oh, I would thrive in that environment. I would love that. It would be so good to expose the high
Ken
pressure.
as the investigative reporter.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I may do that. Oh,
I don't know.
Because there's a couple of these guys that I owe them one or two right now. I owe them a couple of licks back. I've bloodied their noses a bunch of times, but I'm not done yet.
You're not?
No.
Off the top
I
ropes?
hate those guys.
Little Jimmy Superfly Snuka from the old days?
Dave
with the body slam?
Because you know who it is they take advantage of? You know who it is they take advantage of? It's old people most of the time.
A lot,
The
yes.
vast majority of these people get screwed with timeshares are the elderly.
Yeah.
They load them up from nursing homes, put them on buses, and take them to presentations.
Oh, yeah. But they also prey on people who actually are broke. And what they do is they put a twinkle in their eye and they make them feel like they can experience what the better half is living with.
The other half.
I'm telling you, it is an absolute manipulation, too, for folks like that.
I wonder what the poor people are doing.
Yeah, it's like, hey, for a really good price, you can live like everyone else. Yeah, you see what's going on there, right?
Yeah, it's FOMO. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, and if you loved your family, you'd spend time with them on vacation. We don't guilt trip here, but I just want you to know, are you a good father? I just want to know, do you love your kids?
Do you really think that works?
Do you love your kids?
How simple-minded do you think I am? That's awful.
Wait a minute, you don't love your children? Come on.
No.
You look like a man that loves his children. I mean, you have to buy a timeshare to prove it.